Hi, my name is Kieran Williams, and my topic was about damage to infants' olfactory system and its effect on mother-infant bonding. Now, this is just a little introduction that you can pause and read, but this is talking about the mother-child bonding process, and then also I have its relation to the olfactory system, and you can just pause it. I'll just slowly click through this. If you want to see more information, I also have um, questions for you guys or anyone who's watching to I don't know, to if you're interested. Here are some studies that you can look at to get more research on this topic, some background information. My research question and my hypothesis. I believe that there will be a negative correlation between injury to the olfactory system and bonds formed between a mother and her child. Now, getting to my method section of my study, um, I'm doing this experiment with 52 house mice, and the reason why I chose house mice is because they have high adaptability, meaning that I can put them under a little bit of stress and they'll be fine. They'll bounce back, and I have separated into those 52 house mice into 26 newborn rat pups and 26 mothers of these newborn rats, and all of these rats were bred um, in the place where the experiment is taking place, so to minimize the stress on the mice. And the rat pups will be 26 hours old on average, and the mother rats will be 17 weeks old and weigh approximately 375 grams. This is just due to me wanting to have healthy rats. These are qualities of healthy when the rats are the most healthy that they'll ever be, in the best health that there ever will be, just to get nice clean results. The materials used in this experiment are lesion studies, and this will be inducing excitotoxic lesions by injecting canic acid with an electrode tube into the part of the brain that I want to damage, which is the olfactory system. And sham lesions will be produced also. Those are just going to be placebo lesions. We're just going to insert the electrode tube into the brain of the control group, and that's just going to the mimic lesions being produced, just so we can minimize confounding variables. I want everything to be uniform. I don't want there to be any surprises. So I'm just going to do as much as I can to have them on the same page. And we're going to be using an EEG to monitor the rat pup's neurological and electrical impulses and activity that comes with the firing of action potentials across neurons and networks of neurons. And the EEG will record the brainwave pattern and indicate if the part of the brain is or not being used during the activity. Needle electrodes will be glued to the rat pup's head to measure that. I don't want to inject anything to the rats just for their safety. I'm a big animal activist, I guess. And the procedure, we're going to separate the rats into 4 groups, and they're going to be color-coded. The experimental rat pup group is going to consist of 13 rats, and the control rat pup group, the experimental rat pup's mothers, and the control rat pup's mothers. Everything is going to be kept with their own mother because that will increase the mother and bonding experience, I believe. And the lesions will be administered to the rat pups, whether they're the experimental group or the control group. The experimental will get the canic acid, and the control group will get the placebo, just the electrode inserted in. And the needle electrode will be placed on the rat pup's head to monitor the electrical impulses, like I said, while we're using an EEG. And then we're going to place those rats near its mother, and we're going to watch the interaction between the rats and see, if there is a mother-child bonding process, and if there's not, um, why that was. So that's the whole point of using the EEG. And we're going to be using ABC observation, which is basically antecedent, what is happening before the behavior. B is behavior, just what is the rat doing, and C is afterwards, what are the consequences of the behavior on its surroundings and stuff like that. The analysis plan, and my analysis plan aims to prove a negative correlation between injury to the olfactory system and bonds formed. My independent variable is damage to the olfactory system through lesions. My dependent variable is whether a bond between a mother and a pup will be established. The confounding variables, of course, there's going to be some sort of stress that might affect the experiment. I try to minimize as much stress as possible, but I mean, I can't, eliminate all the stress from the experiment. And the degree of damage done to the olfactory system, I'm going to try to keep things uniform with the lesions, but there's a possibility that the lesions might not be uniform, and that could also have an effect on the experiment as well. And also, I'm doing an experimental study. I'm definitely manipulating the IV in an experimental way, and my methods are using lesion studies and an EEG to record the physiologic, oh God, the physio happening during the experiment. And I'm using that ABC observational data method. So the researchers are very uniform. They're very specific with their observations, so we can learn a lot from this study. Pilot sessions, those are sessions working with the EEG before the study to make sure that it's working properly, and attenuation procedures for interpreting EEG data if necessary. So basically, if the data is messy, I can't read it, we'll go through those attenuation procedures to make the interpretation more clear. Thank you for listening to my experiment.